What's up, Transformers fans? My name's Mondo, and welcome to Moonbase 84. And today I'm going to be checking out the Transformers Legacy United animated Bumblebee. Now, I'm very surprised to be able to shoot a video of this figure. I did have him on pre-order. The pre-order said, I think February 1st, 2024. And when I got home today, he was in the mail. I have so many things pre-ordered, I don't pay attention when they tell me they ship or not. Maybe I should, because, you know, that way I know where my money's going from my bank account. But anyway, happy surprise. After Christmas surprise, speaking of Christmas, I hope everybody had a great holiday season. And with that being said, let's take a closer look at this guy. Because for such a little guy, there's quite a little bit to talk about. And little bit, I mean little, he is tiny. But before we get into that, we'll go over that more in robot mode, talk about that. Let's check out his vehicle mode. And I do think that was a truck, not me passing gas, driving by. But anyway, as far as the car mode and how he compares to the actual animation in Transformers the Animated Series, I think the form, the shape, they did a really good job. We can take off these effects. Or not effects, but, you know, accessories, whatever. And it does definitely evoke that animated style Bumblebee. I will say, like, the ports, like where I had these accessories and the ports here, do make the car a little bit ugly. I mean, I don't know, just too many holes, I think. Not hating on it, but just maybe just keep those ports and not have those or something. But it is a fun little animated Bumblebee car. It is very segmented, and I never really liked it. I know a lot of Transformers have this when they have the hinges in the car mode hanging out on the sides, but that is what it is. That being said, it is a fun little car. He rolls all over, rolls really nicely. He has the single pinstripe. You have different color. The headlights are painted, different color headlights. Jesus. I'm still trying to get over the holidays. But yeah, the stripe goes down. I do wish you have your little Autobot symbol. Oh, and he does have his little siren from, like, the show. The back is plain. I do wish, like, maybe he had painted taillights in those holes there. That would have been cool. But yeah, besides that, a fun little animated Bumblebee car. I like the color of the rims, how they painted those. Underneath is pretty clean. So yeah, so what I'll do... Well, one more thing before we get into that. He does come with his booster rockets, like from the show. And actually, these are separate pieces. How do you get them off? They're a pain. And these are actually his stingers from the show. But in car mode, you can plug them in like that. And then it makes it look like his booster rockets are firing. So that's pretty cool. I do like displaying him with the booster rockets because it clears up one hole. So, okay, now... With all that being said, checking out the car mode, I'm going to be transforming him up, and we'll take a close look at his robot mode. So here's Animated Bee in robot mode, and I'll just start by getting it out of the way that first impressions that I had of this guy is that they did a much better job bringing this animated Bumblebee into the Legacy line than they did any of the Prime figures. I ended up warming up to the Prime figures that I do have, which is Bulkhead. I put him with my Wreckers because I have the Wreck and Rule one, and I love Bulkhead. But yeah, definitely not the Prime Bulkhead. I know the whole premise was to G1ify him, but I would have loved a, like, Transformers Prime Bulkhead, or RC, or Knockout. I do have RC and Knockouts on the way. Still need to pick up Dreadwing and Skyquake. But anyway, as I say, I think they did a much better job translating the animated vibe of this Bumblebee than they did for the Prime figures. Not perfect, but in my opinion, you can definitely see this is Animated Bee. If you just saw him standing there on someone's shelf, you would probably, and you knew Transformers Animated, you'd say, oh, that's a sweet animated Bumblebee. Yes, it could have been a little bit more stylized, especially, I think, in the hips. A lot of people say the boxiness on the shoulders and on his chest. To me, not really. I think it loses it in the translation in the hips. I mean, they did, I think, in my opinion, they did try to evoke that stylized aesthetic. but it's definitely not quite there, and that's not a complaint, just an observation. I think they did a pretty good job with the head. That's definitely animated bee in my opinion, and I love the blue eyes. He's got the little smirk. So yeah, I think this is what I would have wanted for the Prime figures, and hopefully if we get any more Prime figures in the Legacy line, they have enough to harken back to Prime, like in my opinion they did with this Bumblebee. But as for the figure himself, once again, that head, I love that. That's just animated Bumblebee. But anyway, the figure himself is really cool. I love this figure. He's just got a lot of personality. He's fun. For me, it comes down to more often than not for a figure fun. So yeah, we'll take a closer look. It's got his cool little Autobot symbol, of course, the racing stripes. He does have the tires on the shoulders. And the other thing, he is a deluxe, but he is tiny for a deluxe. And with all that being said, I think he's a deluxe because in my opinion, he's engineered really well. A lot of little panels flipping out and moving around. Like, see, there's no hollow spaces in the forearms, on the sides, or even really the back. I mean, the back is pretty clean. The original Bumblebee for animated, I like that. I no longer have him, but I love that Bumblebee figure. My son loved his Bumblebee animated. But like the big door panels, but I mean, that was what, 2008-ish? And this is now, so yeah, that's cleaned up nicely. But yeah, just a cool looking figure that is also fun. And one of the main reasons for that is his articulation. His head doesn't move quite as much as I would have liked, side to side. I wish he could have got some tilt, like any tilt really, because that would have given that smirky face even more personality. But he can look down a little bit. He can look up even more than that. His head is tiny, so it's hard for my big chunky fingers to grab, but he can look all the way up like that, so that's really cool. His shoulders can shift, and his arms go out like that. He's got the swivel at the elbow, tons of arm articulation. He actually has a wrist swivel, he has a waist swivel, and his leg, well, if that's not in the way, legs kick all the way out that way, forward that way, back that way. So yeah, as you can see, tons of articulation. I wish he had a little bit more pivot. He only has a little, but his foot does go forward and back like that. So yeah, I've been messing around with this guy since I got him. Before I wasn't even going to make a video today, but I said I have to talk about this Bumblebee. And I know there's controversy. Some people hate him, some people like him, and I like him. I think he's cool. You can take his thrusters, swing them around, plug them in, and then you have guns. If I can do this correctly. So that's cool. And you can also, I haven't done this yet, you can combine his stingers and put his hands together to be like his stinger shot. I'm doing it like that. You can see stinger shot from the show as well. And you can also plug them onto the back to give him his booster rockets like he had in Transformers Animated. So that's cool. I think this one's up. I had trouble plugging this one in before. There we go. It's more like operator error. So yeah, really cool. Here he is next to the Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Deluxe Huffer. And as you can see, he is quite smaller, especially for being a deluxe. But I will say, now that I have actually compared him, because I haven't really done that yet, next to a deluxe though, I wouldn't mind this, because I always think of Bumblebee as smaller, because the G1 in me says Bumblebee's a little guy. I mean, yeah, but if you went by the G1 aesthetic, Huffer shouldn't be that much bigger than him. That, again, is not a gripe. I hope they don't get any more smaller for deluxe, and I do think, because, you know, the word on the street, and I believe it's right, is that deluxe, or the different scales, deluxe, Voyager, leader, whatever, don't really have meaning when it comes to size anymore. It's more about engineering, and I would definitely have him near my desk as a play figure, So much so that I think I may actually even pick up another one, just because I've been messing with him since I got him when I got out of work, and I can see where I would like play with him so much that like maybe he gets loose or whatever and gets worn out. I'm usually not a doubles guy when it comes to that, but yeah, I might get another one of these. Really happy with this figure. Again, look at the back, nice and clean. So that's my final thoughts on him. I definitely would recommend him, especially if you're a fan of Bumblebee or the animated Bumblebee and want to update with a slightly more, I guess, G1ified look. To me, he doesn't look super G1ified, but anyway, people do say that. Just a modern take on him, I guess, is the best way to say it. And you know me, once I get to the end of the video, I tend to ramble, so I am going to end it there. Transformers Legacy United animated Bumblebee. Absolutely think it's a great figure. Highly recommend him. With that being said, as always, I'm Mondo, and thanks for docking.